Like nobody likes honeydew.
Nobody likes honeydew.
You're the honeydew in this fruit salad.
Yeah, it needs to be there. It provides filling, but nobody
likes it.
Nobody actually likes it. Like Kevin is not sympathetic to this whole thing.
No,
Pete's trying. Right. Pete is trying to like, hey, let's fix this. Let's get you in here.
And they want Audre to break up with this other league. Yes. From what you're saying is they shouldn't really care.
They shouldn't care.
But
everyone's in at least 2 or 3 leagues. Like, come on.
But these guys are like, no. You can't.
I mean, these guys are pretty cutthroat about their league, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
And they've all known each other for a long time, so I suppose it's okay that they're all doing this. But everyone I know plays in 2, 3, 4 different leagues, and yeah, that's not a thing.
Okay.
The longest standing league I've been in right now, like I think everyone in that league plays in something else, at least one other thing. In fact, most of us play in this guillotine league that I was mentioning earlier. So, which you can hear us talk about on Dudes Being Dudes Being Dudes. Steve runs that league. He runs it for us.
Okay, so now we're at the part where Sophia serves lunch.
Lunch is ready.
Yeah.
Finally, but we're not going to get food and go back to the couch to watch the games.
No. That is not what Sophia has planned. Sophia has labored in the kitchen making several courses.
3 or 4, I think.
Beginning the lunch with shrimp cocktail.
That shrimp cocktail looked good. I wanted to eat all that shrimp cocktail.
I think that was the point. Her food looked amazing.
It did.
There was salad. There was paella.
And then the salad comes out, and that is part 2 of course 1, I believe is what Ruxin says. And Ruxin is like, hey, guys, let's...
Everybody's like woofing it down so they could get back to the game as fast as possible.
But Ruxin's like, say, okay, we're going to enjoy this. This is what my wife wants. This is what we're going to do. We're going to enjoy this. We're going to put the games on pause. We're going to respect the pause.
Yes.
Exclamation point. But yeah, you're right. They are eating as fast as they can. Kevin just wolfs down the salad. Like, come on, bring the next thing.
It's not just a pause. It's an information lockdown.
That's right. Yeah, don't even look at your phone. And this is important because of the LT situation.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if you caught on to that. This is important because
if LT doesn't start, then Pete's going to be out of luck.
Pete's screwed. He's stuck with those 0 points for LT.
Right.
If they were not on a pause, and he finds out like right before the game starts that he's not starting, he can swap him out for somebody else.
Oh, okay. So you're allowed to do that.
Yes.
Before the game starts,
right.
If you know.
But when the game starts, that's it.
Okay.
And you have him in your lineup and he doesn't play.
I see.
So that
makes more sense there's an urgency.
This pause is important to Pete.
Okay.
He does try and get out of it.
Yes.
He does make a run for it.
He says he has to go to the bathroom.
Right, but
Ruxin's not going to.
No, Ruxin. I imagine like Ruxin is probably like outside of the door while he's going, or maybe actually is standing in the door.
Right.
While he's.
Pete says, "Are you going to hold it for me?"
Yes. It's like I have to make sure you're not on your phone. Respect the pause. Oh, but they do bring out soup, which is piping hot.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And Kevin is now sympathetic.
Yes. He says maybe Audre should have a cool down bowl because he has sensitive teeth.
Because of his sensitive teeth.
And Audre is like, you've touched my heart.
He is now touched.
Yeah. Really, guys? You're really going to respect my sensitive teeth?
Well, so Audre goes outside with his phone. And of course, Ruxin is...
making fun of him the whole
He's
time.
making fun of him. He's also concerned. Like, wait a minute, why does he get to be on his phone?
Right.
We're
But
on
Audre
information lockdown. But the other guys kind of know.
Says that he has to check in with a patient.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So then Ruxins making fun of, I'm Audre. What did he say? I have trouble fitting into my Ed Hardy bedazzled skinny jeans.
Yes.
That's what he says.
Because of the calf implants.
Because the calf implants are so...
that Audre put in.
So big. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Audre does break up with his league, and I'm hurt for Audre. I think he should have broken up with. Well, I mean, I don't want him to leave our show, right?
Right.
You don't want him,
but
to
you
do
do want him to be treated nicely. And I
At
did
times,
note
there's going to be some moments where you're going to go, Audre. Like, what the
of
hell's
course.
wrong with you?
Of course.
Yeah, they're all anti-heroes.
I did note that at the end of the phone call, he says, "And tell Hammer I'll miss him most of all."
Yes. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, Hammer is mentioned again. I think it's the third time that Hammer is mentioned. Yeah, we're all gonna miss Hammer. I wish Hammer was around.
Like MC Hammer?
No, not that Hammer. No, the Hammer in this league is cool. The Hammer in the Fantasy League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Okay.
What was the original name? Extraordinary League of Fantasy Gentlemen. I think so. Yeah.
Like what?
What are you saying, bro? All right. Well, we get released from lunch. They're like, "Can we go?" And they finally get to
run
go.
away.
They run to the couch. And the first thing they see is Terry Bradshaw. And he announces that LT will not start. And this would have been on. So they put the TV on pause, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they come back and start it, that's at the moment Pete missed it.
Oh, because the game has started.
Yeah, at that point the game has started.
So Pete's missed his chance.
He missed his chance. He would have gotten that information if he had sat there for just another minute before going to lunch, going to the lunch thing. Right? So, it has to be right?
Yeah.
Because they started from the pause.
He's going to be bitter.
Yeah, because they're not fast forwarding it. He's starting these like, hey, we're pausing it, and this is where we're going to start it now. So he misses it by just a few moments. But what's weird is that Terry calls him at that very moment that he actually does see it. So I think that's funny that they made that. Like he didn't.
The magic of television.
That is the magic of TV.
Yes.
Like maybe he would have called later or earlier. Maybe he did call and Pete didn't answer because he was on information lockdown.
There you go. Yes.
Something like that. Oh, and Terry, he hated his Uncle Pete.
Right.
So double jeopardy.
Yeah.
On board Pete. So. Oh, I love this part has. This is the first time I've actually picked up on this, but I found this really interesting. Pete says, he says he has a new mortal enemy.
Terry Bradshaw.
That's what he says, but everyone else chimes in with who they think his new mortal enemy is. And I never picked up on this. I think it's because it happens so quickly. And the fact that I'm focused on kind of like making notes about this thing, right? That I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. So Pete says, I have a new mortal enemy. And Jenny says, Audre?
I know somebody says Megan.
Audre says Megan? Kevin says, the dude dip... is that wrong? The dude deep dicking Megan?
Yeah.
That's who he thinks the mortal enemy is. Ruxin says, scintillating dinner conversation? No? Nope. Pete says, Terry.
Yeah.
Terry. It's Terry. Terry Bradshaw. His mortal enemy. So, I think they're just adding time here to the show. I feel like at this moment we're just kind of like it feels like the show kind of slows down a little bit. As we get into this, Audre tries to slam Pete. And right. I wrote these down because
they're very lame.
They're not bad. He says, "Looks like you better sell your house because only winners live here." And they're at Ruxins' house. It's not Audre's. Maybe if it was at Audre's house, it might make sense. But then they were like, "That's not a good slam. You need to find another one." And he's like, "Well, I got a slam list."
Yeah, on his phone.
On his phone. And this is before smartphones, right? Well, it's 2009. I mean, I think the iPhone came out in 2007.
Oh, and Audre would definitely have it.
I would think that at some point he's going to have a smartphone.
Right.
But everyone has flip phones in this show. So the information they're getting on their phones isn't not that great. You know, it's not as much as what you have with the smartphone now, for sure. But he pulls it up and he says, "You better be careful, my lady." And that's my poor English accent, I guess. Because Jack the Ripper's slicing up losers. That's more, I think it was more New York.
You know, that is a terrible slam too. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But what I would tell you is he brings up this dumb Jack the Ripper slicing up stuff. Like, it comes up later. I don't know exactly when, but I know that he says something very similar to this in a later episode. Yeah, he brings it back.
Weird.
Yeah, he's weird. We cut to outside, and Ellie finds Kale's duty. Kale made a duty.
Yes, Kale the dog.
Kale the dog. Oh, no. And she picks it up.
Of course she does.
Of course she does. Because she likes feces. We go back to the couch, and there's some. I didn't look this up if this actually happened, but Frank Gore. So here's another fantasy football thing. Okay, so Frank Gore is a running back for the 49ers at the time. He gets hurt, and he has a running back, or he has a backup. He has a backup, and that backup at the time was Glenn Coffey. Yeah, his name. Okay. So this is what's happening on the couch at this point, is that they see Frank Gore get hurt. So if Frank Gore is out, who's the guy who's going to fill in his spot for next week? Well, it's going to be this Glenn Coffey guy, likely.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they're all scrambling to get on their computers and their phone to try and get him.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're trying to pick him up off the waivers because nobody has Glenn Coffey. He's at this point, he's like sitting. So everyone has like their bench. They have their players that they're starting. They have bench players that are on their team but not actually counted for points. Okay, so you have those two groups but then there's a whole other group of players that are in this sort of pool that nobody sort of has, right? No one has any sort of ownership over them, right? So that's where this Glenn Coffey exists.
Okay.
So with Frank Gore, I almost said Al Gore. Frank Gore, wrong Gore.
Wow.
Yeah. With Frank Gore getting hurt, it's like that's why they're all scrambling. Like, okay, we got to get this Glenn Coffey guy.
This is so complicated.
It's like not that complicated.
It's like when my kid is like, I played this game of Catan with all of the different added games in it, and then starts talking to me about it. And that's exactly how I'm feeling right now. It's a lot of information. So complicated.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all like, useless information. Okay. Just like the Catan.
Yeah.
Fine.
Catan is real, man. No, I'm sorry. I was just joking there.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. I'm not against it. I mean, it's fine.
I mean if you're a consenting adult, you can play Catan.
Yeah. Fantasy football is just as weird. Then we talked about it earlier, but Audre brings up the double entendres. have a new member of Glen Coffee. But then Ruxin accuses Audre of cheating because he was on his phone earlier. He didn't respect the pause.